let's get into some NFL football. The only game I want to talk about, and I'm not trying to be biased, but only worth talking about, is the 49ers blowout against the Bucs, against Tom Brady and the Bucs. And the quarterback for the 49ers for that game is Brock Purdy. If you guys haven't known, Jimmy G is out on injury for a broken ankle. Brock Purdy led the team with 185 yards and 2 passing touchdowns, along with 1 rushing touchdown. Brock Purdy looks fucking good. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's like Mr. Irrelevant. He's only 6 feet. Probably isn't the fastest. Probably doesn't have the strongest arm. But he's freakishly accurate. He has good footwork. And I think he has it here, where a lot of times you can't really scout this. So I like Brock Purdy. And at this point, I don't know what we're going to do at the QB position, because Jimmy is supposed to come back during playoffs. But, Jay, I kind of want to get your opinion on Brock Purdy. What do you think about him?
Dude, watching the game, I felt so excited because he has a different presence than Garoppolo in the pocket.
Yeah.
And he's willing to move around, which I was excited for, because one thing that I get so frustrated about with Jimmy is once the first or 2 looks aren't there, he just like shuts down and he has to like throw it away or take the sack.
Right.
Or he's taken too many safeties this season already.
Yeah.
And
or throw an interception.
Or throw the pick.
Yeah.
But Purdy, he's super accurate. He's fast with the processing. I thought he was a little bit twitchy with the footwork, but I was watching an analysis video on him, and shout out to the QB school on YouTube. Like, I was teaching
they're
me.
fire, yeah.
I was like, yo, this is what I want to learn. I'm trying to learn this type of stuff. Purdy's got it, man. I'm excited for the next few weeks for sure.
I'm super excited for Purdy as well, just because like I'm like the underdog type of player. I'm the underdog type of person. Like, I love rooting for the underdog. This is like a Rudy type of feel, like a Rudy type of vibe. And again, just like you said, man, I think he's a pretty good quarterback from what we've seen. Now, the sample size is super small, and there's a lot of football to be played. But usually when you put your third string quarterback in, you're like, damn, we're done. We're done. And I still think we have a chance at the Super Bowl. You know, when you have an offense and a coach like Coach Kyle Shanahan, Jay was mentioning it to me off air, but you just need a QB that's going to listen and do what he says. If you look at our type of team, even with Jimmy on the field, he wasn't really throwing bombs like that. We let the players do a lot of the work. So he would throw like, a check pass, a check down pass, or just see somebody open 7 to 9 yards down, maybe even 12 yards down. And then our offensive players, our wide receivers, our running backs, Christian McCaffrey, they would do the rest of the work. So I feel like Purdy is in a position where if he just plays within his own game, what he knows about the offense, and we have a great offensive line, we have great receivers, we have great running backs, we have one of the best tight ends in the league. If he has all the pieces around him, if he's just patient, trust the process, I think he's going to do fine. I think he's going to do great. And with Jimmy coming back, I think the question is, do you go with the hot hand, or do you let the veteran come back when he's healthy and help us win a championship? In my opinion, I think that we should go with the hot hand, but his hand is limited. So if he starts making some crucial mistakes, depending where we're at in the game, once Jimmy's healthy, I think we could throw him in. So Jay, I don't know what you think about that, but what's your take on Jimmy G, and if we should let him get his starting position back right away once he's healthy?
So once you told me that he might be able to come back during the playoffs, I immediately thought of the Carson Wentz and Big Dick Nick Foles situation in Philly.
Yeah.
And ride the hot hand. Like, yo, you got Jimmy G coming in for you if anything, like if you're doing bad or you get hurt, like that's a great place to be at.
100%. 100%. And tonight it's Thursday, and tonight we have a game against the Seahawks in Seattle. We're favored to win by 3 points. I'm actually kind of shook about this game. Even though we have the best defense in the NFL, it's always hard to play in Seattle. We don't fare well playing against Seattle. We've lost, I think, majority of the games that we've played against them in the last 4 or 5 years. So it's going to be a tough match, but I'm excited. I think we're still going to win, but I think it's going to be a close game. And like I said, it's going to come down to Shanahan and the offense to figure out how we're going to get points on the board with a player like Purdy. I don't think that's going to be an issue. If he's eligible to play, he's questionable right now, I think, with an oblique injury. So we'll see where that stands. Let's look at the playoff picture. The Niners are third in the NFC. The Vikings are above us, and the only team in the NFL to clinch a playoff spot as we speak right now, right before Week 15 starts, is the Eagles. The NFC isn't as tight of a race as the AFC, in my opinion. So we're looking pretty solid. I think we could stay at the third spot. We can avoid playing a wild card game. Yeah, this is interesting to see.
Just seeing that who's ahead of us as far as like standings go.
Yeah.
The Vikings, as I and you and many have said by now, are frauds.
I think they're frauds too.
I like Justin Jefferson. He's probably the best wide receiver in the game. Well, maybe next to Devontae Adams, but
yeah,
they can't win games like that. They can't win close games. They shouldn't have won so many close games so far. And besides that, I'm not really scared of anyone in the AFC or in the NFC besides the Eagles.
Right.
Like, I think we can beat the Cowboys. Everyone else that's like out a little bit outside of, like, that's on a little run, like the Lions or Seahawks or whoever, is like, nothing to be scared of. Everything's in the AFC right now. For a long time, they have been the weaker conference, but now they got it.
Yeah, this year, man, the AFC is looking strong. And like I said, like, it's anybody's game in the AFC, so it's going to be fun to watch how they do in the last few weeks here. But in terms of the 49ers and the NFC, I think we have a good chance of holding our spot. I don't know if we'll catch up to the Vikings, but if we do, it'd be nice to get in that number 2 spot. And hopefully we'll see the Eagles in the NFC Championship, because that actually would be a game that might be one of the best games in the season. Yeah, again, the Seahawks need this win, so they're going to be doing whatever they can to win this game so they can move outside the bubble and get inside. Because right now it's the Giants and the Commanders, and they have the same record, 7 wins to 5 losses and 1 tie. The Seahawks are 7-6. So, again, anything can happen in the next several weeks, but I would like to get Seattle out of playoffs. I don't like seeing them in the playoffs because we never really do well when they're in the playoffs with us. And somehow we always get matched up. So get their asses out of here. Shouts to the Niners. I don't know if they'll cover -3 points as favorites. So I'm kind of just leaving that off the board. But I know that we can definitely win this game.